What if I told you that the reason most women prefer older men has almost nothing to do with money? You've seen it. You've probably asked yourself why so many young women are drawn to men with gray hair, wrinkles, and decades of experience, while ignoring guys their own age who are fit, energetic, and available. The answer isn't what you think. It's not about bank accounts. It's not about status. And it's certainly not about gold digging. There's something deeper happening beneath the surface, something that most men, young and old, completely miss. And once you understand it, everything about attraction, relationships, and what women truly want will snap into focus. So, let's break it down. Let me share with you the hidden reasons women prefer older men, and why this preference isn't just common, it's biological, psychological, and deeply rooted in human nature. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And how a woman reacts to a man's presence, his energy, his touch, his patience, reveals everything about what she truly values. If she's constantly drawn to older men, it's not because she's shallow. It's because older men have learned to react differently to life, to relationships, to intimacy. And that difference is what she's craving. Number 1, understanding and patience. This is the first and perhaps most important reason. Older men have been there before. They've lived through the chaos of youth, the urgency, the impatience, the desperate need to prove themselves. They've already made the mistakes. They've already learned the hard way that rushing doesn't work, that pressure kills connection, and that the best things in life require patience. So when a woman says she's tired, when she's not in the mood, when she needs space, an older man doesn't panic. He doesn't take it personally. He doesn't start demanding, guilt-tripping, or trying to convince her otherwise. He simply understands. He accepts it. He knows that the human body has limits, that emotional exhaustion is real, and that pushing her when she's not ready is the fastest way to destroy trust. Now contrast that with a younger man, a man in his 20s or 30s who's still operating from a place of scarcity, still terrified of rejection, still measuring his worth by how often she says yes. When a younger man hears "not tonight," his mind often goes to a dark place. What did I do wrong? Is she losing interest? Is there someone else? He doesn't see her fatigue as a biological reality. He sees it as a rejection. So he pushes harder. He tries to convince her. He makes her feel guilty. He turns intimacy into a transaction. I bought you dinner. I took you out. I've been patient all night. The least you can do is and that energy, that pressure, that unspoken demand. It's suffocating. It turns what should be a moment of connection into a source of anxiety. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also taught that no great thing is created suddenly, and intimacy is no exception. Cannot be rushed, cannot be demanded. It must be cultivated through patience, presence, and respect. Older men understand this. They've learned that true intimacy isn't about conquest, it's about surrender. And that surrender only happens when a woman feels completely safe, completely understood, and completely free to say no without consequences. Number 2, the depth of care and nurturing. This is where older men have another massive advantage. Young men often care, but their care is conditional. They care when they're getting what they want. They care when things are easy. They care when she's happy and compliant. But when she's difficult, when she's not performing the way they expect, their care evaporates. It becomes transactional. You give me X, I'll give you Y. But older men, they've learned to care differently. They've learned that care isn't a reward. It's a foundation. They don't care because she's earned it. They care because that's who they are. They've been through enough relationships to know that love isn't always easy, that women have bad days, that sometimes they need to be held without being fixed, that sometimes they need to be treated like a baby even when they're strong. This isn't about condescension. It's about tenderness. It's about creating an environment where she can be fully human without fear of judgment. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When a man's thoughts are colored by genuine care, his actions reflect that. He doesn't just say he cares. He shows it. He shows up. He listens. He remembers. He makes her feel like she's the only woman in the world. Not because she is, but because he knows how to give her that feeling in the moment. And that feeling is addictive. That's why women stay. That's why they choose older men. Not because of money, not because of status, because of how they make them feel seen, heard, cherished. And that's something that no amount of youth, no gym body, no flashy car can ever replace. Number 3, the art of touch and preparation. This is the one that most men get completely wrong. And it's the one that women will never admit out loud. Older men have learned that intimacy isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about the journey. It's about preparation. It's about knowing her body, her rhythm, her responses. It's about taking the time to make sure she's ready, that she's comfortable, that she's fully present before anything else happens. Think about the difference between a young man and an older man. A young man, when he's ready, is ready. His goal is to get from A to B as quickly and efficiently as possible. He doesn't think about preparation. He doesn't think about foreplay. He doesn't think about her experience at all. He's focused on his own satisfaction. And when it's over, he's done. He rolls over, he falls asleep. He checks his phone. He doesn't ask how she felt. He doesn't hold her. He doesn't linger. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. And older men understand this. They're not in a rush to get to the next moment. They're fully present in the one they're in. They take their time. They touch her like they mean it. They know exactly where to place their hands, how much pressure to use, how to read her breathing, her sounds, her subtle shifts in energy. They prepare her. They wait until she's ready. They make sure that when it happens, she's not just involved, she's fully invested. And that makes all the difference. Because when a woman is properly prepared, when she's been touched with intention and patience, her experience is completely different. She feels cared for. She feels valued. She feels like she's not just a means to an end, but a partner in the moment. And that's what she remembers. That's what she craves. And that's what keeps her coming back to older men. Number 4, energy and pacing. This might surprise some of you, but it's one of the most important reasons of all. Young men are often frantic. They have energy, yes, but it's scattered, unfocused, and often out of control. They're not always in tune with the moment. They're driven by impulse, by ego, by the need to perform. And that performance energy, it's exhausting for her. She feels like she's being rushed, like she has to keep up, like she's just along for the ride. Older men, on the other hand, have a different kind of energy. The slower. It's more deliberate. It's calm. They're not trying to prove anything. They don't have to. They've already proven themselves in ways that matter. They've built careers. They've raised families. They've weathered storms. They've survived loss. They know who they are. So when it comes to intimacy, they're not performing. They're simply being. And that presence, that stillness, is what creates the space for her to be fully herself. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And older men have realized this. They've stopped trying to control outcomes. They've stopped trying to impress. They've stopped trying to perform. They simply are. And that quiet, grounded presence is intoxicating to women who are used to being pursued by men who are constantly seeking validation. It's a relief. It's a refuge. And it's something she'll never get from a man who's still trying to prove himself. So, let me ask you something. Are you dating a woman who seems to prefer older men? Have you ever wondered why women choose men with gray hair and wrinkles over guys their own age? Do you think it's all about money? Or is there something deeper, something more powerful that you're missing? The truth is, women aren't just looking for providers. They're looking for presence. They're looking for patience. They're looking for a man who knows how to touch, how to care, how to listen, how to be still. And older men have learned these things through years of experience. But here's the good news. You don't have to be old to learn them. You don't have to wait until you're 60 to start embodying these qualities. You can start today. You can start being more patient. You can start being more present. You can start learning how to touch with intention, how to listen without interrupting, how to care without conditions. And when you do, the age difference won't matter because women don't choose older men because of their age. They choose them because of what they've learned. And what they've learned is available to any man willing to do the work. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also taught that no great thing is created suddenly, and becoming that man is no exception. It is created through the accumulation of small choices, each one building on the last. Each time you choose patience over pressure, you become that man. Each time you choose presence over performance, you become that man. Each time you choose care over control, you become that man. And when you become that man, you don't need to be older. You just need to be better. So stop chasing youth. Stop trying to compete with younger men on their terms. Start building the qualities that make older men irresistible. Patience, care, touch, presence, understanding. That's what women truly want. That's what they're really chasing. And that's what will make you unforgettable. If this resonated with you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below and tell me, Do you think women prefer older men because of money? Or is there something deeper at play? I read every single comment, and I personally reply to as many as I can. Let's start a conversation. Until next time, stay present, stay patient, and never stop becoming the man she can't resist.